Peace, peace. Now the vibrate, of course, the social system of things, you know, and the way it's set up. It's set up for you not to win. It's set up for you to be, in a constant habit of being in your thoughts. And what I'm getting at is basically, I was just passing by a bar, and I caught the download of how much a bar, in essence, like the environment has your mind and everything just everywhere, in essence, where at most bars, say for instance, you're able to eat, drink alcohol, watch TV, and talking to people, all at once, and again, there's no bad or good thing, but we just speaking to what causes, the mind to run off, what causes us to be in the habit of being in our thoughts. It's certain social constructs and certain habits, within the social constructs that create these types of mind frames. Because that's why I like dealing with a lot of Zen teachings. They teach about whatever you're doing, in essence, don't even be doing it, be it. You know what I'm saying? If you're anger, be the anger, be whatever, you know what I'm saying? But it's not about the doing as much as it's about the being. And what I was just about to tie. Oh, like so when you're eating, be fully present and eat. Matter of fact, so just basically being in the now fully of what you're doing. So when you're eating, but the social construct, of in essence, that gives bad habits to our mental, in the essence, where the social norm is for us to be watching TV when we eat. And that's mostly the American thing. You notice that's an American thing, like in other countries, and that's why traveling, gets to show people, when you have these experiences, you get to see, like, all right, it's just America on some old crazy loony shit. But anyway, with the watching TV when you're eating and stuff like that, it's like, you should be fully present, with your food, fully present eating. And if you do want to, have your attention off to the side, while quote unquote eating, then it should be like with heart to heart with the family. So, conversing with the family while eating, but just bringing things down, minimizing activities, in essence, like whatever you're doing, do that, you know what I'm saying? Like, instead of us, like, trying to talk on the phone, paint your toenails, and watching TV, and babysitting, all at the same time. It's like all these different habits you see that the social constructs, create. That's just trying to have you in the habit of multitasking so much that it indirectly creates a habit of you always being in your mind, always like, like, matter of fact, the air sign, the Mercury, or the planet Mercury, deals with communication. Matter of fact, we're familiar with Mercury in retrograde. Excuse me. But like that again, that energy of just being in the thoughts all the time, And again, there's no perfect way to spirituality or no dogmatic way of like every time you eat you have to eat like this every time, but it's just one of them, just like the the way the universe works, cause and effect. It's like, you're not harming nothing, in essence, by say for instance, like if you're eating and watching TV and doing other things, but just know that you are creating a habit of being in your thoughts. no necessarily bad or good. Again, cause another thing, like what I like about the Osho teachings, again, like where it's like no set principles. Whatever the vibe is that you feeling and going through, then that's what it is. So, you know, like how you spoke to like waking up late at night or craving to eat late at night. These different things where it's like, all right, if the urge that strong, go with the flow. See what happens. Kind of how like speak to following your impulse, because a lot of our dealing with our soul and our spirit is things that's not logical. That's things that don't fall in line with what Dr. So and so on TV say. you know it's like just the own vibe. But again, to the vibe again of the social construct, creating these habits. To here is you're drinking, so that's opening up the body to the spirits. Stuffing our faces. And matter of fact, in most cases, is prepared like with wings and stuff like that, so you could overeat. So you got your appetizer, and they got all kind of stuff. So because overeating is not a good thing. And again, as I said, good overeating is not a beneficial or healthy thing to the body. It's healthier to the soul, mind, body, and soul for us to be, again, being in the moment and partaking in, or being in whatever moment that it is to the fullest. So again, if I'm eating, I'm gonna eat. If I'm having a conversation with a person, I'm having a conversation with a person. Matter of fact, that's where I spoke about how we had that silent, went on the what is like a talking fast in essence. How it taught us how to fully be present, when listening. Because a lot of times when we listening to people, instead of being fully present, you listening to them, and while you kind of listening, you multitasking and being in your brain like, oh, what they saying is wrong. I feel like this and that. So in essence, you listening to them just enough to where they could feel your attention being directed somewhat towards them, and listening to them. But for the most part, you in your head building up a rebuttal while they talking, so you're not even fully present and listening to what they have to say. You know what I'm saying? Like you in your mind, and again, all this, this social construct of like, I gotta be doing this, gotta be doing that, and years of certain habits create, something that some people may start calling like it's normal to be. No, it's not. That's the insanity that y'all trying to make normal, but that is not, the norm. Again, but it the way the word magic of normal is, though, is like they could make something again, normal by just making it prevalent by making it like the constant within the social constructs of things. It'll become normal. I always use the Hiroshima example. Like before America bombed Hiroshima, it wasn't normal for people to be born with these different I just say quote unquote disfigurations. As far as like an extra limb, or a extra nose, or being a Siamese twin is more like just all those energies of different abnormal. Trying to find a word for it. Just these different abnormalities of the body, where these things that aren't really normal, aren't really the natural quote natural vibe, but because they bombed Hiroshima. And over years, people getting used to seeing that becomes a social norm. Like, oh, I'm used to, seeing my cousin with an extra leg or extra arm or extra finger or this and that. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm not saying that to clown, like, but the reality of the situation, and is that really the normal thing? No, you know what I'm saying? That's where it becomes important to know your history. Where that new age shit be, be trying to play the game slick. Where it's like, oh yeah, just throw, just again, like yeah, it's about being in the moment, but being in the moment and using our past as a reference. And if you're dealing with a fake past, then you got a fake reference that you're dealing with your moment. You're not dealing with your moment, in a reality in essence. Like that's the whole thing. But again, just all the different. So the drinking and opening up the body to spirits. The overeating vibes and the unhealthy vibes, because in most cases, a bar is not serving vegan food. So you got that aspect as well. Again, watching TV while you're eating, and I won't. It's something to the social vibe. So as much as I put that in there, that has an asterisk by it, because again, like how I spoke with, while eating, if you're gonna be doing something, let it be something organic, like again, like a heart to heart or connecting, with your family, talking with somebody, connecting with somebody, and the bar does provide that, because I think honestly that's part of the reason why I kind of, like going to bars. For I felt like a energy in that area, where it was like a beneficial vibe, in essence. But again, the whole situation though is created to, throw off your energy. And matter of fact, and when you have one too many drinks, now you kind of, the demons and all these spirits start to open up inside you. Have you all over the place, because all these different spirits trying to pull you in all these different directions. You know, but that's basically it. Just what what's promoted as social norm. Again, all these different things, add up. So when you talk about, them hitting us with the vaccines at an early age, and then the school system not really telling us no true knowledge, so we don't give a fuck about it. And then when we don't give a fuck about it, they label us as this fake ass ADHD and ADD shit, just so they could pump some poison in us. The poison got us all fucked up. So now we kind of grew up, and we might get into some shit. Now we're in the jail system. The jail make money off of. It's like it's a racketeering circle of just fucking you over. Then when you do get things together, say for instance, and again, I'm not knocking. As long as you start to connect with spirit in some way, form, or fashion, that's good. But again, you've been knocked off so much, and then when you do go connect to spirit, they still kind of got you in the chokehold, because you start going to church, which is an establishment of the Jesuits and the slave masters that trying to, keep you again confused and keep you down. So even in that area, they still kind of catch you and try to sweep you back under the net. So you just see how it's a full circle, racketeering circle. Again, promoting the unhealthy foods and the the overeating of meat and stuff like that produces an unhealthy pineal gland. Your pineal gland will calcify. When your pineal gland calcified, certain functions of the body, don't operate at its maximum, and then also, you kind of, well, not kind of, your body releases less DMT, or if any, and it becomes harder to visualize things. And so when your pineal is not, visualizing things at its maximum, then it's hard for you to, be confident at being an entrepreneur, because you can't even visualize your plan. You can't even, see it, before you get to it. So I might as well just get a 9 to 5 and work here, and then be stressed out every day, and then after work I go to a bar and get drunk. Again, you see back at what I was saying, and you find yourself there. And again, as I'm talking about these things, not knocking, I done been through these things myself, and some of the things I'm talking about. And again, it's no good or bad. It's just a situation that's set up that's just unbeneficial to our soul and to us really knowing that we are God on human experience, and how to deal with that. Because again, there's even a balance to the ignorance of life, like because how we say live and let God, and that goes to show you how beautiful a situation where even in ignorance you still kind of last a nice little while. You know what I'm saying? Like because the energy moves through us, but again you start to see where's the balance. Like of course you live and let God, but you also have a little knowledge of self, and you use a little logic along with your intuition. You just don't let your logic overpower you. You don't let you use your brain and don't let your brain use you. Like that's the whole vibe. But again, you see the racketeering circle of it. Oh man, I'm depressed. I'm this and that. Oh, we're here. Take this Abilify or this and that. You know what I'm saying? Which have like 1,000 side effects. Bleeding from the ass. Your liver might fall out. This and that. All for just one little small aspect. In which all it does is, creates an addiction in a lot of cases and have you, crawling back to it. Because addiction is an addiction, and addictions are so strong in essence where it doesn't matter whether something is beneficial for us or not. When we addicted, our body starts to overpower our mind in essence, like, and what knows better, like, well, say for instance, well, we know better than, smoking this or doing that, popping that, drinking that, but it's like our body is so in tune with that vibration that it becomes difficult to just say it, or just feel like, all right, or feel and know that I should be doing better, but the body is still under that that vibrational influence. Again, just like how food influences, and say for instance our body, what we eating is turning into the cells of our body. You know what I'm saying? So when you eating foods that have bisulfate and red 40, like all these dyes that are certain chemicals and all these things that are not a part of your human anatomy, it's like that's why you're having to go to the doctor and he could trick you into taking that poison. And once you're on that poison, you addicted to it, so that's why you feel the need to continue doing it. Just like a crackhead feel the need to continue being a crackhead, even though it's obvious that even the crackhead know as well as the people around him know that life could definitely be a little bit more beneficial and better for him, but you know because the energy of that substance is overwhelming the body. It's just hard for it's difficult for that person to just turn that switch on. That's where it comes to that situation where we all built different and we all signed up for different experiences anyway. But again, it's just a whole racketeering circle. Again, you get these chemicals and things that are not a part of your body. You are not a baby calf, so why are you drinking milk from a cow? Show me an animal in nature that drinks milk from another animal. And then who claims to be the smart the smart, intelligent beings on this planet? Again, it is a balance. Like, of course we want to use our logic and use our intellect, but not to our logic and intellect, it's using us. And again, that's where the the vibes of the Europeans that come to oppress, when I say come to, that deals with that vibe, that's that energy they implemented was that over masculinity. you know, that doesn't deal with it, that almost just basically says fuck intuition, you know. Matter of fact, how I always speak about the movie The Man Who Knew Infinity, and that show example of that. And again, not to you know, not knocking anybody or none of that, you know, just speaking on the reality of the situation. Uh, but yeah, again, just a racketeering circle. Oh wait, I find out, and then say, all right, you get a little knowledge. Well, yeah, I'm gonna go to school for this and that. You know, not knowing what, you know, the school system is just educating you to what they want you to. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you could find little gems. Uh, you know, especially like, say, for instance, if you go to you know, a school like Harvard or something like that, where they got the big esoteric and occult libraries, and you know, it may even have some courses on it. You know, of course, you know, again, you gotta put an asterisk by it. You know, you could find some benefits out of dealing with, you know, a school. Matter of fact, speaking of school, you know, they call it a university, like the universe. You know, just like how souls come, you know, incarnate in the universe, you know. And I say in the universe, everything is the universe, but you know, it's like coming to learn at the university, like mimicking the universe, and how we here, you know, in this physical experience, you know, learning, and you know, it's mimicked through the school system. Well, instead of getting 360 degrees of knowledge, they'll give you 1 degree after 3 or 4 years. You could get you 1 degree. You know, the bell rang on the truth. But yeah. Matter of fact, I'm just kind of just tying all the little social, you know, little webs. Because right now I'm getting a download of how important it is for everybody to, you know, start to become more aware of, you know, just the interconnectedness and racketeering vibe of, you know, of this ring of, you know, oppression in essence. These people trying to, you know, oppress people, you know. Like, people need to know that, you know, like Disney, you know, bought out Lucasfilms, you know, Star Wars, they bought out ESPN, you know, they bought Marvel. You know, you gotta know that Disney, you know, and again, you know, that's how you get to see where it's like all that shit in cahoots. Cause it's like, hey, look, cause this is an agenda to brainwash people. I'm gonna buy you out, but you get to still keep your name. You know what I'm saying? Like, but just at the end of the day, we kind of get to be the end all, or we get to, you know, be at the top, telling y'all, you know, what movies should be done at this time and stuff like that. You know, but, you know, you can still call it Marvel. You know, cause matter of fact, cause Marvel has its own brand itself. You know, cause if they was to say, you know, X-Men by Disney, you know, we would kind of not feel, so, you know, we would feel some kind of weird. So it's like, oh no, we can't stop them from watching by attaching that name to everything, but, you know, we gonna buy y'all out, you know, and work behind y'all. But again, there's no coincidence that, you know, like Coca-Cola own all these different other companies, you know, or like a company like Roundup own a company that bottles drinks, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they'd be doing the same thing in the same building, bottling Roundup and your beverages at the same time. Like, I forgot what's the name of the chemical aspartame. I, I don't know if it's that or it has another name, but there's a certain bacteria that they cause the bacteria to defecate, or to, you know, to you know, shit, you know, and they use that shit in, you know, certain drinks and foods, you know. So I didn't even heard, you know, of which I don't have any matter of fact, I'm gonna just stay away from it, but I just, you know, pay attention to what's in your foods. And again, your chemical makeup is of copper, of you know, of carbon, oxygen, hydrogen. It's elements. It's not made up of red 40 and and titanium, silica, and all that. And which, of course, we do have some cell salts in our bodies. That sounds like some crazy chemical, but it's just more so, just an elemental bond. But like a lot of these things are not a part of our anatomy, but yet putting it in our body and expecting to, be healthy. Not realizing the subconscious programming that been handed down from years of programming, you know, or the ignorance of like where somebody, here it is where some people, like with melanated people in America, they got books taken away from them for so long, you know, pushed into ignorance, but then at the same time be expected to, to act, in a certain manner. And that's no excuse either, you know what I'm saying? Like, I tell people, you gotta, we all gotta be accountable for our actions at the end of the day, regardless of, just like little kids, well, no, so and so slapped me behind my neck, but a mom be like, but fuck that, you 10 years older than so and so, you knew better than to hit so and so, So it is that vibe, of course, but at the same time, but not bound down to somebody. Like, say for instance, when you come across the vibe of somebody, be like, well, look at the crime in the hood, or look at the way they sag their pants and this and that. Well, I mean, and I use the analogy of you can't put a sleeping pill in a person's drink and then be like, oh, look at that old sleeping motherfucker. That motherfucker over there is falling asleep. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm falling asleep. You put a sleeping pill in my drink, so of course I'm gonna be falling asleep. You know what I'm saying? Of course I'm gonna be a little ignorant. You try to keep books away from me. Of course I'm gonna be like that. You try to imprison me in this system every chance you get. Of course I'm gonna, have some of that vibe because you created that environment from the beginning. But on the flip side again, now, I not even say on the flip side, but with that, again, there comes accountability. It's like, all right, well, now I know they've been fucking over me and this and that, and I know that, I can learn how to get myself out of this. Then it's like, work on ourselves. You no longer could blame nobody else. You know, it's all up to you. That's basically it. Again, just that's why it's so important for us to meditate and start creating healthy habits. And that takes time, or it takes in essence practice. I always use the analogy, if you haven't been in the gym, for the longest, you're not gonna just go to the gym and lift a 10-pound weight one time and become extremely, healthy. Like, you gotta keep going back to the gym continuously. You gotta create a healthy habit out of it. To get away from the old habit. To create some new neuroplasticity, creating a new neural pathway in the brain of doing something new and different. You know what I'm saying? To get away from that old pathway. Because just like if I don't know if y'all remember what it is, The Price is Right, and they used to have that little thing, like a little coin, and they drop it in a little thing and it bounce around, plink or something, and the little thing will bounce down to the bottom. But imagine like doing something like that, and you got like this is say 5 different pathways, and you got 3 big pathways and 2 small ones. The 2 small pathways is like leading to something that's beneficial, but the wide pathways are leading to something unbeneficial. You know, when you drop that little thing down there, you know, it's easier. The easier path to travel is the one that always been traveled, or in this instance, just the one that's more wide open. It's easier to go down because, you know, again, just like how you build a trail, like, well, you keep walking down the same path, and you end up creating a trail, and the more you walk down, the wider the trail get, you know. So as you drop that little, you know, a little ball or whatever into it, you know, it's gonna go down that bigger path. You know, the probability of it going down that little small, less traveled path is, you know, is very unlikely. And more so, just in the probability again of that situation, you know, it's gonna fall and down into the, you know, into the bigger holes, compared to where, you know, again, you start to travel down these other roads, these healthier roads, then these unhealthier roads start to close up. You know, where you stop taking that little trail, and then the grass start to grow back, you know, and all that. You know, that we want the grass to start growing back in them unhealthy trails, basically. You know, like the little unhealthy pathways. You know, let the little grass grow back there and create a new pathway and grow that path. You know. And it's all about being in the now. Don't look at your situation as something like, but man, I'm 60 years old. You know, it's stressing me out. That what's the best you could do right now? Out of all the things, you know, all right, you just heard what I spoke on, healthy food, meditation, this and that. There's something you could start on right now. You know, it's not impossible. You know, that's only, again, you being in the habit of always being negative and always feeling like you're subject to, you know, not being able to change your life, because you're probably waiting on baby Jesus to change your life instead of, you know, knowing that it's up to you. You know, but it's like, it's never, you know, it's never too late. Just do the best that you can in the moment. You know, that's what we down here having fun. Never too late. Like, oh, I'm 60, man. I still got, and I'm just making this up, and I'm 60, I still got all my children in the house, and I take care of them, and, you know, my job killing me, and this and that, you know. But there's one step in a positive direction that you could take right now. You know? Again, because you got the part of your negativity and things that's going on that, yeah, of course, you're going through it and it's affecting you. But then, you know, it comes a point where it's like you have an opening to say, hey, I could take steps in a positive direction, you know. Like, in a lot of cases, it's just being caught up in your thoughts, and again, just constantly like, well, oh no, false evidence appearing real. You know, well, you know, it'll be hard for me to find some healthy herbs, or, you know, it'd be hard for me to meditate, or, you know, it'd be hard for me, or this would be difficult, or this would be hard, or, you know, because, as a matter of fact, again, that egoic mind slick, and it don't want you to start growing, because once you start growing spiritually, your egoic mind dies. You know, all that excessive thought, you know, it dies. And that's when I say die, you know, of course you still have thoughts, but you're no longer controlled by them. And then with clearing your mind in that manner, in a lot of cases, it's going to be, you know, the flow of your higher self, you know, dropping the little thoughts down to you, instead of some practice habit of thought that comes from your egoic mind of what you've been taught all your life, or what the media been programming you to think all your life. You know what I'm saying? It'll be from something from your soul, you know. But the power of now, like being in the moment, you know. The only thing that exists is right now. That's all that exists. It's this moment. You watching this video right now. Wherever you sitting there watching this video, this moment is all that exists right now. I mean, I put it like this, say for instance, even if you was cooking right now, you know, in essence. Like, right now with this video, you ain't gotta go cut up the vegetables until you leave this, you know, leave from watching. And of course, you could be doing it at the same time. But again, that's back to what I was saying. Like, we don't want to be doing too much multi or over multitasking. You know, knowing put like this, knowing what it does to our thoughts and how it creates that habit of us just trying to do so much at once, and instead of being more simplistic, we know what we're doing to ourselves when we, again, don't look at it as no bad or I should hate myself because I'm over multitasking or this and that. Just like, nah, the consequences of it, so of course, it's free will universe. You could go to the bar every night and eat all the wings till your belly is at its fullest and drink all the beer till you ain't got no more beer left. Every night, that's up to you. There's a certain reaction, that comes with that, that if you feel is a pleasant, way to be, and then nothing is wrong with that. Again, no right or wrong in this world, you know what I'm saying? If a person wants to be a heroin addict, that is their free will, and there's nothing wrong or right about what they're doing. Of course, what they're doing may be unbeneficial to their soul ascension, but that doesn't mean it's bad or good or wrong. That's the lesson that they're learning down here in this moment. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're dealing with. That's only your human moralistic system that always have to tag something with bad or good, and that comes from the subconscious programming from kids. Where mama like, don't do that. That's bad. In which they get it programmed from the church. Astrology the devil. That is bad. That's good. You could do this because we call this good. You could do that, or you can't do that because we call that bad. And again, they wasn't purposely trying to, fuck over us, but it's just, again, the natural order of things. It's no coincidences. We signed up to go through that bullshit. Whatever bullshit you went through, going through, or whatever shit that the collective of your culture went through, whether it's a Holocaust or slavery or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's I forgot what I was what I was gonna say. You see? It'll come back to me. Going on my little rant. In fact, that ginkgo biloba been working pretty good for me. I don't know, I'm not getting it. Let's see. In fact, let me try a little bit. Let me see if I can reach for it. Like, speaking on people being caught up in their collective. But I guess probably the gist of what I was saying got, it got across. So whatever. Speaking about culture and the collective, damn. Well, that's another thing too, though. Since that didn't come to me, and also overriding tradition. With the common sense of the soul, not just regular old common sense, but the common sense of the soul. Things that you just know in your heart don't feel right, but tradition says we should. We should clown a white person every time they pass by us. Our traditions say we should burn a cross. Traditions say we should wear these sheets over our head. Traditions say you gotta do this. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what your heart say. Not what traditions say. We're moving away from DOS and Windows 98. That's old software. That's no longer it's no longer software that benefits our advancement and evolution. So again, a lot of these traditions, and all these different things, it's like, again, too, some traditions, yes, was like held in remembrance for us to still deal with, But you notice the difference where those traditions that are still there for us to deal with, you feel good about, like your heart and your soul feels at peace with that tradition as well. Like it's not like, where you over here with the feeling of tradition, but then your heart and your soul and your higher intellect just knows that somewhere in the back of your mind that this just don't feel, righteous, or it's feel funny compared to like where the tradition or whatever lines up with your soul where it just all feels good. But again, there's some things that we stubbornly hold on to, trying to pass it down. Like I could have been stubborn, and when I saw my nephew growing tall, I could have been like, well, the tradition in our family, or the family structure, I'm used to it. Uh, the older people, tell the youngsters what to do. So in tradition, so I see my nephew getting big, I'm gonna tell him he gotta play basketball, and I'm gonna force him. I'm gonna make him work with me every day, and I'm gonna make him a basketball player. You know what I'm saying? And then in the back end, and if you're kind of too in your egoic mind, it'll be a little faint voice like, man, that people should have their free will to do what they want. You shouldn't pressure that boy or that girl to do that. You should let them choose what they want. That you didn't like when you were bossed around like that. Like that little voice, is there. But again, depending on how strong your egoic mind is, it'll just slap it to the side. Or, just, la, 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 just like a little kid, like, oh, I didn't hear what you said. But again, you reap what you sow, with that vibe as well. But you see the trickle down effect. Tradition. And again, even down to the I even speak on like with dealing with knowledge, like what Dr. Sebi spoke on with the healing of AIDS and cancer and stuff like that. It's like and it's more so not changing tradition as much as just the fact of, in essence, continuing, but in your own manner. Where, like, say for instance, just because Dr. Sebi, he dropped the electric foods list, and did that, but doesn't mean there still aren't, like fruits and vegetables out there that still haven't been, discovered or talked about, or, the full potential of knowing what it could do. It hasn't been touched on yet, and that's waiting for you to deal with, you know what I'm saying? Dr. Sebi did his part, and as a piece to the infinite, you know what I'm saying? He brought down pieces of the information, like, because if one of us brought down all the information, what would be the point of our experience, And then we would have a situation where I was like, oh, worshiping, like, oh, this person got more power over everybody, It's like, nah, we each got our own little pieces to the puzzle, little parts to the infinite whole, But I digress. Again, just seeing the way the social constructs of things, again, like a bar, where you'll start to see as you're reading spiritual, and again, that's not to say, again, like the Zen, like how to, speak on like when you're eating, and which that's just not a Zen teaching, that is, a true spiritual practice. But even with that, that doesn't mean you have to be dogmatic about it, but it's just a fact of the matter that, when you multitasking a lot and it becomes habit, then it kind of just creates that vibe of being overly in our mind and, just doing too much, And when we thinking too much, we're removing what's moving, so remember that. But peace, happy now. Now's the vibrate. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the plan. Right now. by LSU on Chime. Peace.